Good morning, everyone. I hope that your morning has started off well. I hope that you've had your morning coffee and that your kids have gotten to school okay. I hope that the sun is shining and that you have woken up thinking good thoughts about yourself and good thoughts about today. By the time I post this video, I probably have sat here recording it over and over, trying to find the right words to say what is necessary. And even when I find the right words, my voice will crack and the tears will probably start. Because today, this day, February 28th, was such and continues to be such a hard day. Such a hard day. 2 years ago today, I was at my daughter's school getting ready for a field trip. I was in the forum of the school with maybe over 100 kids and parents waiting to go on this field trip when my mother called me. I remember this day so vividly, and it's like it replays in my mind all the time. Because one thing I know for sure is that some of my hardest calls, the most difficult calls, have always happened early in the morning. And although my mom and I talk all the time, 20 times a day, when I get those early morning calls, I know that it isn't something good. But it didn't seem that way that day. So when she called me, I could hear her crying, and she was screaming. And she told me that my little brother had died by suicide. And I remember it felt as if the whole auditorium went silent. And all I could hear were her screams and her crying. And I just couldn't believe it. I was in total shock. I was in total disbelief. And 2 years later, it still doesn't seem real. And I think for me, it doesn't seem real because suicide is something that we don't think can happen to us. I think for me, African Americans, we believe that suicide is a white person's thing. And by then, I had been a nurse for 11 years. So, of course, I knew all about suicide, right? They teach us about suicide in school, and we take classes, and we have to do a suicide screening on our patients when they come in the hospital. So to hear my mother utter those words was the most difficult thing that I've ever had to hear. My brother was a giant. If you saw him, you'd probably be scared of him. But he was so kind. What people say they remember most about him was his laugh. His laugh was infectious. He was influential. He was my mom's big bear. And although my mom and I are so close, and people think that I am her favorite, I believe that he was. And that doesn't bother me because my mom has always had enough love and support to go around for all of us. Suicide is a leading cause of death in the U.S. And I wrote some things down about it that the CDC posted on their site. It says suicide is a leading cause of death in the U.S. Over 48,000 deaths have been reported in 2021. 12.3 million adults have seriously thought about suicide. 3.5 million adults have made a plan. 1.7 million have attempted suicide. And according to the CDC, that is one death every 11 minutes. So often I think about what I would have said, what I could have done differently. And as we know, death by suicide is not about us. But if you've ever lost someone to suicide, then you know that that is a thought that will always be in your mind. It is something that I think about very often. So, what do I do when I feel down? What do I do in hard times? What do I say to the people around me? How do I encourage my children? How do I have those difficult talks? And I have learned from my mom, from being a parent myself, is that we have to be able to have those talks with the ones we love, with our children. We have to be open and honest. And when the world seems heavy and darkness is all around you, we have to rest and be reassured that we are not alone in this life. Your life matters. His life mattered. And I wanted to read 2 verses. And this isn't just for believers. This is for anyone who has lost hope. This is for anyone who is having a difficult time. This is for anyone who just needs someone, who just needs some words of encouragement. So, Romans 12:12 says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer." I want you to know today that you are not alone. I know that the world and probably even people around you may make you feel as though life would be better without you somehow. But it won't. And then Psalms 27, verses 13 and 14 says, "I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." I say that to say that life really be lifing out here, and I get it. But difficult times, hard times, sad times, they don't last always. And just when you think that life cannot get any harder or any worse, God is going to be there. He's going to be that beacon of light. He's going to be that miracle worker for you. And if you know anyone who is dealing with depression, anxiety, thoughts of suicide or self-harm, please, please be that beacon of light for them. Please help them find resources and people who will be there for them. And have those hard conversations with your children. And don't let another person leave this world with things left unsaid, with deeds left undone. And just be there for someone today. My brother, his life, his legacy lives on today. The people that he has influenced still write on his Instagram page 2 years later. And although we lost him at such an early age, his life was not in vain. The things that he did and the lives that he touched were so monumental on his journey. So please take the time today to light a candle for my little brother. And if anyone knows my mother, please just love on her and support her today. And if she's quiet, just give her the space that she needs. Because I realize that in times of grief, we never know the right things to say. But just sitting with someone today, holding their hand, and just being a present help will mean a lot and will make all the difference. May you all have a blessed day. And I hope that as you go on about your day today, I hope that you are kind, that you're gentle, that you're forgiving, because we all need a little more of that in this world today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. And thank you for all your support. Bye.